Blessed Sabbath to one and all. Our lesson today is 1 Kings chapter 4. We're going to have Brother Ryan to do the reading. Ready, brother? 1 Kings 4. And here we go. Ready?
Blessed Sabbath. Scripture reading will be taken from 1 Kings chapter 4. And it reads, So King Solomon was the king over all Israel, and these were the princes which he had.
So King Solomon here would be king over all the 12 tribes. Because they said over all Israel, meaning over all 12 tribes. Go on.
Azariah, the son of Zadok, the priest, Elihoreph, Ahia, the son of Shisha, scribes, Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, the recorder.
So when you look, why do they always give the name of the man and then the name of his father? Do you all know why? Yes, but there's some years too. You find that more than one person had the particular name. So to know which particular, suppose Azariah, to know which Azariah it is he's talking about, they will give you the father name. Right. Now, and this is also to show, yes, the lineage, and this is to show a bloodline. You would mostly always hear the father name, and only once in a while you will hear a mother name, and not in these men, but like the kings. Some of the kings you will hear them, and his father was so and so, and his mother's name was XYZ. But in most cases, you never hear the mother name. You will always hear the name of the man. Continue.
Verse 4. And Benani, the son of Jehoiada, was over the host, and Zadok and Abiathar were the priests.
Right.
And
you know these were whose sons? Whose sons these were? Whose sons were these? Zadok and Abiathar was whose sons? The sons of Aaron. They were the sons of Aaron. Go on.
Verse 5. And Azariah, the son of Nathan, was over the officers. And Zebub, the son of Nathan, was principal officer and the king's friend.
Now stop. In the New Testament, did Jesus have officers? But here in the kingdom, they had officers. But the Hebrew Israelite groups in America have officers. They have officers. Some officers was down here the other day, huh? There was a kingdom. There was a kingdom. Huh? Yeah, the kingdom all now. So they don't have officers. But yet they're saying Jesus. It is saying IUIC is Israel united in Christ. So how you is Jesus church, but you have officers? And what did Jesus church have when Jesus was here? What did they have? He made some what? Apostles number 1. And then you hear the term disciples. Then in the days of Paul you hear the term deacon and bishop. But never officers. Does not officers incur that you or imply that these fellas have power to rule? Well, we're a military program. Well, that's not what we're about. We're not military nothing. We're soldiers of lawyers, but not in the military system. So we don't have officers. So these guys stuck in some old past with officers and this kind of stuff. Right? Continue.
Verse 6. And Ahishar was over the household, and Adoniram, the son of Abdon, was over the tribute. And Solomon had 12 officers over all Israel.
And this will be what? 12 officers over all would mean what? One for each tribe. Go on.
Which provided the victual for the kings and his household. Each man his month in a year made provision.
So each man had to provide for a month, showing you that how many months was in that year? So where these fools get the 13th heir there from? You see, all this is very important. If there were 12 men, and the 12 men had to provide each man a month to complete the year, it means that the year in Solomon they only had 12 months. But today these imposters that call themselves, do you know it's against the law to deny that there was a Holocaust? It's against international law. You could get locked up for it. So don't tell nobody that they didn't get 6 million Jews didn't get killed. You can't get locked up for saying 6 million fools get killed. But you could get locked up for saying 6 million Jews didn't die. And you just heard it this week, that it's against international law to say that Hitler didn't kill 6 million Jews. Right? But Hitler could kill 6 million fools.
Hitler said it wasn't Jews.
Well, we know. But they say don't say that. You get locked up for that. You could go to jail for that. So they were Jews. They said they were Jews. They are Jews. They were Jews. Nevertheless, they died. Was Hitler right to do it? Hitler claimed he was doing vengeance on those who killed his family. I didn't there, so I don't know. Continue reading. So before you go, so it does show that Solomon and them had 12 months to their year. So this idea of bringing 13th heir there is a new invention. It's not from back in Solomon and them time. They had 12 months to their year. Go on.
Verse 8. And these are their names. The son of Hur in Mount Ephraim, the son of Dekar in Makaz, and in Shalabim, and Beth Shemesh, and Elon Beth Hanan, the son of Esed, in Aruba. To him pertain Succoth and all the land of Hefer, the son of Abinadab, and all the region of Dor, which had Taha, the daughter of Solomon, to wife.
Okay. He was a man in the family, the king.
Verse 12. Bana, the son of Ahilud, to him pertain Tanakh and Megiddo, and all Beth-Shean.
And this Megiddo is where the last war will be fought. Go on.
Which is by Zartana beneath Jezreel, from Beth-Shean to Abel Meholah, even unto the place that is beyond Joth Midian, the son of Geber, in Ramoth Gilead. To him pertain the towns of Jair, the son of Manasseh, which are in Gilead. To him also pertain the region of Argob, which is in Bashan, 80 great cities with walls and
brazen bars. And this area of Gilead is where God said he's going to bring back Israel to show you that it did belong to Israel before. Right, so he's going to bring them back to Gilead. And he says, place shall not be found for them. Go on. 14.
Ahinadab, the son of Edo, had Mahanan. Ahimaaz was in Naphtali. He also took Basmath, the daughter of Solomon, to wife.
So he too was in the king's family.
16. Bana, the son of Husha, was in Asher and in Elah. Jehoshaphat, the son of Beruah, in Issachar, Shimon the son of Elah in Benjamin, Geber the son of Uri was in the country of Gilead and in the country of Shion, king of the Amorites, and of Og, king of Bashan, and he was the only officer which was in the land.
You know, I had an aunt that was Uri. I don't know where to get your name from, but I see Uri here. My aunt is Uri. Go on.
Verse 20. Judah and Israel were many.
Okay.
As the sand which is by the sea, a multitude,
And that
eating and drinking and making merry.
And that is why God said not to count them. They are to be as the sands of the seashore. For multitude, don't count them. And they were eating and drinking and making merry. To show that they were happy. And they were at peace. Yeah, Solomon's kingdom and reign had much peace. Not a lot of war. Go on, not as David won.
Verse 21. And Solomon reigned over all kingdoms, from the river on to the land of the Philistines, and unto the border of Egypt. They brought presents and served Solomon all the days of his life.
So not just over Israel did he reign, but even over other countries. He also ruled those countries round about there. And they brought presents and served Solomon all the days of his life. Go on.
22. And Solomon's provision for one day was 30 measures of fine flour, and 80 measures of meal, 10 fat oxen,
10 big cows,
20 oxen out of the pastures,
About 30 in all.
100 sheep,
And 100 sheep.
marts, and robots, and fallow deers, and fatted fowls.
And we think the fatted fowl is that the turkey. Or the biggest of all fowls that many is turkey. Now Austria is unclean. But the turkey. So he had turkey, but that table had turkey to eat. But that was only one day food. Yeah, for all the men you hear that called before. That is to feed everybody in there. So you know that Solomon didn't only have peace, but he also had a very rich kingdom too. And that is why we can never, I don't know how brethren just make it, but we can never have a little bit of food. We're not accustomed to a little bit of food. We're accustomed to a lot of food. I come out of the country and when food cook, it's not food cook. You know why not food cook? You're buying the potato by the rod and you're raising your own sheep. You're raising your own fowls, you're raising your own duck. They're raising their own pigs. So a lot of food is cooked. That is Israel for you. So Solomon had a lot of food. Every day they had to cook. This portion was killed every day. This was only one day food. Yeah. You know, go on.
24. For he had dominion over all the region on this side of the river, from Tipsah even to Azza, over all the kings on this side of the river. And he had peace on all sides round about him.
And who gave him this peace? Who gave him this peace?
God.
Did he fight for this peace? No. God gave him this peace. Go on. God subdued the kings under him.
Verse 25. And Judah and Israel dwelt safely.
How did they dwell? Meaning they had no war. Go on.
Every man under his vine and under his fig tree.
Now stop. I like that. When is this going to be in place again? During the 1,000-year reign of Christ. He says every man will sit under his vine and every man will sit under his fig tree and none shall make them ashamed. So this is coming again. Where he says every man will sit under his vine and every man under his fig tree. It's a tree, Jeremiah 23:6. Alright, so That is coming again. So it was so in Israel, it will be so in the entire earth during the 1,000-year reign of Christ. Every man will sit under his vine, and every man will sit under his fig tree, because there will be no killing in all his holy mountain, no hurting or destroying in his holy mountain. Everybody that living on the earth that are alive will eat fruit and vegetables and herbs. Go on.
Continuing in verse 25. From Dan even to Beersheba, all the days of Solomon.
So Judah and Israel dwelt safely, every man under his vine and his fig tree, from Dan to Beersheba, all the days of Solomon. Go on.
Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for his chariots and 12,000 horsemen.
Wow.
And those officers provided victual for King Solomon and for all that came unto King Solomon's table, every man and his money. They lacked nothing.
They lacked nothing. Go on.
28. Barley also and straw for the horses and for dromedary brought they unto the place where the officers were every man according to his charge. And God gave Solomon wisdom and understanding exceeding much, and largeness of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore.
Wow. Giving wisdom and understanding exceedingly much, and largeness of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore. Now God will of past finding out, how did this child come? Through the same David and the Uriah wife. But this son is blessed. Look at his son. That's why he said no king on the earth would be ever like him. None with wisdom and largeness and all that he had given him. Continue.
30. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country and all the wisdom of Egypt.
I want you to read that again, brother. Hit me with that verse again. 30.
Verse 30. And Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country and all the wisdom of Egypt.
So when you meet the Egyptologists talking foolishness, find this text for them. 1 Kings 4 and verse 30. No man in the earth, no not one. Now look, the men of the east was the 7 sons that Abraham had from Keturah, that he gave them the presents and sent them away from Isaac. Those are the men of the east. So this family, that's why they came when Christ born, bring presents, because it's his family. And they were wise. But despite the fact they were wise, they were wiser than the Egyptians. And you know why they were wiser than the Egyptians? They could read the stars. The Egyptians couldn't read the stars. But what the Egyptians had on other people was they understand the mathematics of the earth. And that is why they could get water run up a hill. You understand? They can get water run up a hill because they understand the science of the earth. But these men understood the science of heaven. So when they saw the star, hear what they say. A special son is born in Israel, for we have seen the star in the east. In other words, they read the stars, and they knew that this particular star represented a special king in Israel. That's what they knew. These guys were heavy. And they said, let me go and see this child. Now you know they got shocked when they get there and see in the manger though. Well, this is a king and this he is. But nevertheless, the gifts they bring, the frankincense, the myrrh, and the gold, they give him, because that's who he is. They knew who he was when they came and see the child, and they understood it clearly, because they had the wisdom. So the Bible says, he excelled the wisdom of all the children of the east country, and all the wisdom of Egypt. Solomon was above these people. You think God will ever put them above a Hebrew? Never. Never going to put them above a Hebrew. The Hebrew is number one. So Solomon was above all them in wisdom. Go on.
Verse 21. And he was wiser than all men, than Ethan, the Ezrahites,
So you know he had to be a man of wisdom. Go on.
Heman,
Mm-hmm.
and Shalpol,
Mm-hmm.
and Dardan,
Mm-hmm.
the son of Mahal,
Mm-hmm.
and his fame was in all nations round about.
So all these men he would hear just called here would have been wise men. But he was above them. He was above all of them. Go on.
And he spake 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005.
So you see, you only got a small portion in the scriptures of what this man really spoke and sung and sing. Only a small portion. Go on.
And he spake of trees, and from cedar trees that is in Lebanon, even on to hyssop, that springeth out of the wall. He spake also of beasts, and of fowls, and of creeping things, and of fishes.
So he had a wealth of knowledge of everything. Because do you know of the hyssop that grows to the wall? Anybody know about it? Don't take off a leaf off it and put it in your mouth. It is the most bitter thing on the face of the earth. It's more bitter than gall. But it never grows in the ground. You know where it grows? Any old wall it grows out of. You just see it coming out of the wall growing. That is hyssop. Bitter, bitter, bitter. Go on. And he knew it. And one of the questions Solomon asked was, do you know how the bones grow in the womb? A woman get pregnant. And to a time she started to say, I feel it kicking. How them bones get there? What formed them? What caused them to grow? That Solomon asked that question. Well, most people can't answer it. But we know it's God put everything together. Out of sheep food, the child is taking calcium, and that is what's going to form the bones. It is a whole process, and it has time with it. That's why they know at a certain time the child should be doing this or that while it's in the womb. It should be turning over. You should feel it movement. You should feel a kick. See, just kick me. Solomon knew all of that. Go on.
Final verse 34. And there came of all people to hear the wisdom of Solomon, for all kings of the earth, which had heard of his wisdom.
So all kings came to Solomon to hear of his wisdom. We know that they also said that queens came too. And one of the biggest lies is the king of Sheba coming to Solomon. And the Ethiopians claim that Solomon gets she pregnant, and she went back home and had Menelik. And when they were going to destroy the temple, Menelik came and take the Ark of the Covenant. And they have it in Ethiopia, and to this day they can't show it. It is one of the biggest lies in the world. I read in the Apocrypha, and I can get the text for you, I don't remember it in my head now, where it says, when Jeremiah, who was there, when, what came the name? Nebuchadnezzar came, Jeremiah was in the city. And Jeremiah took the Ark of the Covenant and buried it in a mountain. And the reason why he believed that, Nebuchadnezzar wasn't an idiot. He knew that he could not take the Ark of the Covenant. When the Philistines had the Ark of the Covenant, what happened with them later on? He killed their God. The Ark of the Covenant wasn't nothing to play with, because that is where God put his presence. So Nebuchadnezzar would not take back the Ark of the Covenant to Babylon. That would spell disaster upon them. He would allow a man of God to do what he want with it, and they said Jeremiah buried in a mountain, and says that one day it would be revealed again in the future, but he wouldn't be alive, which is true. Jeremiah dead. Nevertheless, that is important now. God's presence is with you by the Spirit of his Son, Jesus, Yeshua. So the ark, even if the Ethiopian got it, we ain't care less. That ain't got no relevance today. That everything to do with that dead and done. From the time the veil of the temple rent in twain, from top to bottom, everything in there become common. So that ain't relevant now. So they could keep it and keep it hiding. And say that only certain people could see it. Certain priests. And they can't even talk about it. You can't talk about it. You'll be dead. You think they could, if the Philistines couldn't keep it, the Ethiopians could keep it? Really? So we know that ain't relevant again. Not at all. Alright? Any questions? So remember, none of them, nobody in the world had wisdom above Solomon. Where would this wisdom come from? God. And he gave him wisdom in what? In the knowledge of his creation. He gave him knowledge, he gave him wisdom in the knowledge of his creation. More than anybody else. So all the rest would have had pieces, you know? Like the Egyptians had the mathematics. Yeah, they didn't understand that everything worked by numbers. And that everything works by time. But to understand how the things were actually made, that is what was given to Solomon. A blueprint as to how God makes stuff. And nobody else was given that. A Hebrew. Who he love? Who God love? Is he not love Israel? But he showed, so why would he get somebody else above that? He would never get nobody. And that is why a lot of what is built in this new world is built by Hebrews. Don't mind them. The Hebrews never get the credit because they were slaves. A man, what we named George Washington Carver, that take the peanut and make 100 different products from it. The peanut alone. He made 100 different products from the peanut. Who do you think he was? Son of a slave? Well, he could call he a slave too. Because he do it in times when slavery was still there. So it only to show you the knowledge and wisdom that God gave the Hebrews. But you never get the credit. Oh, I remember years ago, Orion when they give him bare problems. And the youngster called Spot find the answer to correct it. They ain't give him a pattern, but they give him money. But he find the answer to how to correct this problem on this window. And this window they come from stairs. And they couldn't find the solution to the problem. So the Hebrews got some heavy stuff. But do they know? No. They could make anything and send here. And when we can't get the parts, we could do what's called collifox in here. And we could get it work. When they say done with, and that's what Englishman told me that already. You know, he said, why I admire about you all. You all don't got the, if anything happened to something, why we gotta get the exact part. But when we get something else and make it work. When we improvise on it and make it work, he said, we can't do that. We might set up to do that. We gotta go buy the part and replace the part. I said, well, son, we don't have the money. So if we don't have the money, we gotta find a way to get it work. And trust me, we do find a way to get it work. Yes, sister? Pleasant Sabbath.
I gotta say, so I remember a time when I did drape free. That's right, and they did this drape. And it's like, it has very small pleats. And all how they tried to get it to stay, they couldn't. You understand? I say, well, I have an idea. You understand? So even the boss pen and stuff. And then they said, okay, so what are you going to do? So I said, well, I will need a table. And when they do the table, I fasten it and stuff. And I get the thing perfect. And they said, okay, build she some tables. And they do the tables and stuff. And like other things, like little things, they'll say, okay, so how you get that one do?
Right.
And stuff, you know? So,
yeah. Well, that's the gift of the Hebrews. It's just that they don't know. They get things work. You know? All the old people that work in factories and these things will tell you how they get things work. Though they didn't have the items. They had a layman in this country that could make guns. And never went away to learn to make a gun. And they couldn't make guns. They at St. George, but the factory, men they making guns there. And they never went away to learn. They was so good with the lathe. So the Hebrews got talent. The Hebrew got wisdom because God give them it. It is just that they're selling themselves short on the block in them foolish places that don't have nothing. But if they really put the self and they put the brain to be used, trust me, they can come up with some heavy stuff. Okay, moving on. What the next lesson is? Second lesson is James chapter 4. James chapter 4. Yeah, we can get it done. We can get it done. When I talk about planting coconuts in the valley, fellas say, how you can get them with the valley? I said, well, we can use a conveyor belt. I sit down and put it together in my head. I tell my son, he's an engineer. He said that, yeah, we can get our work. With the motor to bring them out, hook them on, or put them on it and bring them out. You must get things done. I saw that in Belize or one of them places with bananas. The solution and them struggling from down the bottom of the mountain to the top, from to the top of the mountain down to the bottom with banana. The people in Belize got conveyor belt bringing out the banana on the grounds. Just a matter of thinking and getting the money to put in the infrastructure, and you put it in once in the banana field, and they ship it from field to field, and they bring out the banana in harvest time. Because while they're growing, you got time to move that and put it up and pack the box and put the box on it, coming straight up to the truck. Nobody ain't struggling and wringing the ankle and all kind of coming out the mountain. No. And like it's Vincent to use the donkey to bring it out. Now the man got conveyor belt. Shakira got in and put in conveyor belt because they got the money. You see, when you have the money, you can do things. And we have the ideas, but we don't have the money. Go on. James?
Reading from the New Testament, the book of James, chapter 4. From whence come wars and fighting among you? Come there not hence, even of your lusts that war in your members? Ye lust and have not. Ye kill and desire to have, and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not.
So, should this be in a church?
Never.
Wars and fightings, and lust and kill, desire to have and cannot obtain. You fight and war yet you have not, because you ask not. He's talking about the church. He wasn't talking about Israel. He was talking about the church. Should this be in the church? The answer is no. But there's not humanity in the church? The answer is yes. But this is clearly a church that the flesh has taken over. Anytime the flesh takes over the church, then you have these problems. Grudge and jealousy and all this nonsense that the regular people in the world have, you find the people in the church have. Because they're in church, but they're still in the flesh. You got to come out of the flesh not to have these things and be in the spirit. Go on.
Verse 3. Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lust.
You ask amiss. You don't act serious. Casual acts. Well, if I get it, I get it. If I don't get it, I don't get it. No. Can't approach God that way. He said, when you ask, believe, you receive. And you shall receive it. Go on. Yes, brother. Present Sabbath.
The text also made mention of the intent of the asking. Consume in our lust.
Not for good purpose.
It is a selfish, un-Christ-like desire. It is for me, myself, and I.
Not for we.
And for everybody.
Same for the Hebrews.
It is not for the honor of God's name.
Oh. So should I take all these things for the bees, and then the Hebrew eat all the honey free, and they may get those things? So I take these things in love. Oh, I see. Well, I think the Hebrews should come and hold some stings too, to show that sharing these things in love. Now what he's saying here is that clearly, if you don't, this is the accusation you get from Christianity, they will tell you the church ain't having the love, the people selfish. And you see that in most Christian churches. If you talk to brethren, you will hear they tell you that. I aim never to have that in no church that I pastor. You can't be selfish, because Jesus wasn't selfish. Had he was selfish, he wouldn't come and die for a fella. Let me destroy and start fresh. But he came and he died to show this is what real love is. Real love has a measure of sacrifice to it. And this is what people don't seem to understand. Real love must have sacrifice. Yes, Brother Rock?
The aspect of asking for yourself.
Right.
The truth is that when you ask for God's honor, for His glory, whose benefit do you in particular not benefit either?
Yes, of course. But others should benefit too.
But
anytime you're talking about God, you can't talk about self.
But this is the blessedness.
Because God sent His Son to show you ain't selfish.
Precisely. That's
Right.
what I was just going to highlight.
Yes.
God
sent His only begotten. Ain't like He had 5 sons and like He said one. He only had one.
God sent His Son and we benefit.
Exactly. So why then should others not benefit from us?
But I mean, Christ benefits as well. As the scripture says, He learned obedience through the things which He suffered.
That's true. So you're saying if we get stings and get them the honey, they ain't getting the stings, but they can give you something else. That's love.
They go through some other experience.
Exactly.
And they give.
But they give. So that all will benefit, not true? Did He not say when one suffer, all suffer with it?
Yeah.
And when one rejoice, all rejoice together.
Did you ever sell off purple?
And yes, and look at what she did with Paul and them. When she encountered Paul and them, she fed those men and took them in. So she gave up the blessings that she had received. You can't be a saint and selfish. Those two words don't work together. Sinner and selfish, yes, but not saint and selfish. You can't be a selfish saint. You could be a selfish sinner. Yes, but you can't be a selfish saint. Those two words don't go together. Go on.
Verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of God.
Now let's pick this to pieces. He accused them of being adulterers and adulteresses, meaning both the man and the women and the men. And then he said friendship with the world. What kind of friend? So you not have a friend in the world at all? What is it saying? Loving the things of the world. So you can't leave home unless you go and make up. That kind of stuff. Okay. The women in the world pants, Trinidad Fair. Even the old ones pants tight and skirt short and tight. I don't know how they're getting these clothes. This is the world. Now, if you see the saints, should the saints dress that same way? No. Well, I have had to correct some of them and say, no, that's not for you to put on now as becoming saints. You go get out of your sister. You can't wear that. Somebody is outside of the church. But in Trinidad, they clothes tight, better. And then again, there's no old people in Trinidad. I have not met an old woman in Trinidad. You dare not call any Trinidad woman old. You will get correct right there and then. They never old. Because the oldest woman still jumping in carnival, so how she get old? Singing Rose, jumping in carnival till she falling on the stage and she's still in old. So they never old. But the saints must dress decent and proper as becoming saints. Not looking the same way as the people of the world. That's what the verses bring out. Friend of the world is enemy of God. If you support everything the world does and sanction to it, then you don't sanction to God. Because the world is contrary to God. Yes, Brother Rob. I should see the difference when I see a saint walking the road.
I think a little extra in that birds of a feather flock together.
Fly together too.
So if the mind and the heart is alike, then you have to ask questions.
You're saying if the mind and heart ain't changed, then you will not see anything different.
You will not see anything.
If you have the mind of the world and the heart of the world, then you must look like the world.
Then the desires of the world will be there.
True. Can't get away from that at all. But he said then you become an enemy of God.
Precisely.
So God got enemies. And he have them right here on this earth. The enemy of God said, well, he put on clothes for Adam and Eve, but we could walk the road naked. He gave Adam Eve, but Adam could take Adam today could take Steve. And Eve would take Yvette. Them are enemies of God? Of course they're enemies. So they will do the opposite to what he said they will do, called the enemies. And you only got one plan for the enemies. Destruction. In the lake of fire.
Despise the ordinances of God.
That's what he's saying in Isaiah 24. Go on, 5.
Verse 5. Do ye think that the scripture saith in vain? The spirit that dwelleth in us laugheth to envy.
So do we start it with a good spirit? Do we start it with a good spirit? No, he said the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy. Now, is not this before you're transformed? Is not this before you receive the Spirit of Christ? After receiving the Spirit of Christ, should you still have a spirit in you that lusteth to envy? Of course not. That's the way you must be born again. Of water and of the, or not, you will have this spirit, because this is the one you're born with. In other words, you're born with the devil. He's who got that same spirit. But you have to be changed. You have to be transformed. You've got to go through the process. So all those persons who are saying no baptism, no laying on of hands, they are the devil themselves. Go on.
Verse 6. But he giveth more grace. Wherefore he saith, God resisteth the proud.
What you do with the proud?
Resisteth.
He resisteth the proud, but do what?
But giveth grace unto the humble.
And you know that most people that got money got pride. A woman tell me she couldn't go to a corner shop because of who she was. And she was wife to a man who break up she hand and she put, but she still carrying the name after he divorced she. So I don't know what the pride is going, but the pride is going away as far as I see. And all pride does is come before fall. So pride will not let the people be right. But God do what? He resists the proud, it says, but gives grace unto who? So that's why he wants you to humble. He wants you to humble. Go on.
Verse 7. Submit yourself therefore to God.
Well, humble yourself to God, in other words.
Resist the devil, and he will flee from you.
So all the antics the devil come with, don't pay him no mind. And he will go. Because you are not entertaining him. And in whatever form he comes, because people looking for somebody with horns. Sometimes he comes with a very good looking face. Not no horns. You know they say he comes as a roaring lion. But if you hear a roaring lion, would you not run? So they must understand the context. He coming here roaring for you here. He may coming as a lion. But he coming as a lion like a sheep. A little nice little sheep. You know, he's wolf in sheep clothing. Coming. So they gotta understand he ain't roaring, because if you roar, you're gonna run. So he said, resist the devil and he will flee. Now here's the thing. Can a regular man in the world, the question is, can a regular man in the world resist the devil? No. Who can resist the devil? Gotta be the saints. Because you can't resist the devil when you're born with a spirit that lusts to envy, but that's of the devil. So the child born under the control of the devil from the day born. Until he is born again of water and of his spirit is the only time he's going to come from under the hand of the devil. Jesus called it binding the strong man. You see, you can't take his house unless you bind him first. So until you are born again of water and of his spirit, you are in the hand of the devil. So what if he said to you, do you don't have a choice? You got a choice. You're not going to do it and they kill you? But the Bible says, take them severally as he will. So if you don't do what he say, what happen? You're kind of dead. Man, he was always telling me, okay, that. And he create this scenario for you to get killed. He's do that too. You honestly think that when a fella stabs somebody to death, that was the normal man they stabbing? And a man can get somebody 16 bullets, that's a normal man fight that guy? Really? That's the devil. That's the devil. Put it in a high gear. When he come out of high gear, now you want all the lawyers in the world to get you off. Your mommy go and sell everything and plus the things that nobody shouldn't buy to get you off. That's when he come back normal. But when he did normal, he could like go for 16 shots in the man, he go kill you, whatever, and all the bad word he can use to kill the man. So that show you he takes control of them because they're in his hand. He can't do that with the saints. He has to put temptation to the saints, and the saints can resist him. Can walk away from it. You go in the house to work, like the sister here, she works with people. Oftentimes, I saw they set up a room one time and they put some money in it, and they wanted to find out who thieved this money. But they wanted to find if it was my man in the workshop. I know it didn't have my man. I know the man he working with. And my man came in and saw the money soap on the counter and walked back out. They got cam and they rolling. When they play in the meeting, I say, my man, what you do? He see the thing, he walk back on, he call housekeeping. Tell management there's some money down here, the tourists like to go away and leave in the room. They say, well, no, I think he there. But you wouldn't guess who it was. A security guard. That was laughter. That was laughable. It was a security guard. Yes. That's supposed to see. So then, one of them in prison asked who guarded the guards. So who the guarded he? And then he or security that trap he. They trap me in the room the other night.
I asked that question yesterday when I heard the boss. I'm getting the phone more so you just can't wait.
Alright then, I lock up all who the security guard is tonight.
Who the guard is the security guard.
He gotta know about it. Whoever the guard ain't gotta know about it. He either or he sleeping. He carry 5 bikes. Really? So no, who guarding the guard? It was security guard. It wasn't my man in maintenance, no. Continue, brother.
Verse 8. Draw nigh to God.
Do what?
Draw nigh to God.
So you can draw nigh to God. Go on.
And he will draw nigh to you.
And so there's a fellow always tell me vice versa. He always calls to me vice versa. So he said here, if you draw nigh to God, what will he do? He will also draw nigh to you. Who has to make the first move? But they're saying here you gotta make the first move. It's saying you gotta draw nigh to God and he will draw nigh to you. Go on.
Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded.
Good. Now you may need some help there. You may need some help with this part. Cleanse your heart means just stop doing the evil you're doing. That's all it means. Stop doing the evil you're doing. Go on.
Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness.
Now people like the opposite. People feel they should always be rejoicing and should always be happy and in the house of mourner. But he says it's better to be in the house of mourning than to be in the house of feasting. So he's saying, well, if you're in this position, then the best thing for you to do is to afflict yourself and mourn and weep. Don't rejoice when you're in this sad state. Let your laughter be turned into mourning and your heaviness, joy into heaviness. Go on.
Verse 10. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up.
So God deals with the humble, not with the boisterous and the proud. And if you humble yourself, he's saying here, James, the Lord, our Father will lift you up. Yes, Brother Rob?
Like what the text says. It says, humble yourselves in the sight.
In the sight of God.
So we have to know what God's sight is. Because if we humble ourselves in our own sight, that don't make sense.
No. In the sight of God.
In the sight of God.
Well, I guess it would be for not because he sees everything. So I guess it would more go down the line of approval.
Right.
In a manner of which he approves. Yeah, because he sees everything. So you can't just be seeing, but humble yourself in a manner of which God approves. And fasting and praying works. Because it is a form of humbling yourself. When you fast and you pray and you ask God for all the different stuff, whether it's for healing, blessing, whatever, he sees. And that is classic example, the king, Hezekiah. When he's told to set his house in order or you and die, what does he do? He humbled himself, he turned to the wall, and he cried to the Lord. You have to. And he says, I go and tell him I see his tears, and I hear his prayer, and I shall add to him how many years? 15 years. Then there's another one, he tell him, yeah, before. But there's another one, he tell, I hear and I see, but I will not do these things to you in your lifetime. So does he have one? But Hezekiah one is when he was sick. So if you humble yourself, Hezekiah was sick. Right, in a manner that he approved of. Because you can't just say Saul would say he humbled himself too. Right. King Saul would have said he humbled himself too, you know that? Right. But that was he on site.
When the book was found proclaiming the wrath that was intended on Judah because of the wickedness of the kings before. And Josiah, when it was read in the ears of Josiah, he humbled himself before the Lord, proclaimed a fast. And
they said that fast was the only one that would do that was Moses' one.
Right. He said then that he would do it.
Yeah, it was Passover.
Right. But he called the people to humble themselves before the Lord.
But did he end good though?
Josiah, he died in the wrong battle.
He died as a fool. He pursuing the wrong man. He died as a fool. Why you gonna pursue him? Why you pursuing the man? Man till he turn back. I ain't gonna quarrel with you. Yeah, well, it is to show that perfection is of God. You know? Go on.
Verse 11. Speak not evil one of another.
Don't speak evil one of another, brethren.
He that speaketh evil of his brother and judgeth his brother speaketh evil of the law and judgeth the law. But if thou judge the law, thou art not a doer of the law, but a judge.
Wow. So don't speak evil of the brethren. So if you see them doing wrong, can I tell them? If you see them doing wrong, what you're supposed to do? Tell them and don't go and talk with somebody else about them. That's what he's saying. Tell them your fault between you and them. Don't go and talk with some other brother or sister about the brother or sister. That's what he's saying. Don't do that. Deal with them, go and talk to them direct. Show them where they're wrong. Go on.
Well, there is one lawgiver who is able to save and to destroy. Who art thou that judgeth another?
Now, I saw some witnesses this week, and I told them there. I asked them 2 questions, and they tell me I can't judge them. There is only one judge. And I had to remind them about the scripture that they didn't know about. 1 Corinthians 6 and verse 2, what it says. The saints shall judge the world. They tell me, no, you can't judge me, only God could judge. Because I asked them what they think about the pedophilism that plagues the witness church and the elders who cover it up. It is all over the world. In every country here too. But they have a good way of covering it up. Because you can't go to the police. I said, what you all think about that? When you see that, you see that on the internet, right? I said, yeah, of course. I said, well, your people complain on the internet, of course. Other people do. Other people, other religions do it too. I said, but you're still in this God's church, so wouldn't shouldn't be doing it. Wouldn't see one different to the other churches. Wouldn't see when it's God's church. So how you got pedophiles in God's church? God's church can't have pedophiles. She tell me, you can't judge me, you can't judge me, only God can judge me. I said, no, mistakes, sis. You don't know your scriptures. 1 Corinthians 6 and verse 2. The saints shall judge who? The world. I said, and when the time comes for you stand before me, not going easy on you because you rejecting the word of God. She walked away. Play with that people, brother. Tell the truth. The saints shall judge the world. Read it. I said, read it out your book. I said, read it out of your book and let me hear what it say. 1 Corinthians 6 and verse 2. Let me see what it say. Or do you not know that the holy ones will judge the world? And if the world be judged by you, are you unfit to try very trivial matters? This is their book that I'm reading from. So they don't say the saints, they call them holy ones. Do they not seek to demote the people? King James says the saints. They says the holy ones. Are ever saints. They seek to demote the saints by calling them holy ones. So we ain't dealing with that. The saint, but even she didn't know that if they say the saints is holy ones, she didn't know the holy ones judging the world. She don't even know she own book. So if they call the saints holy ones, she was lying when she said only God judging. She didn't know God gave judgment to his son and his son sharing it with his brother right now. And his brother is called the saints. Good. Read.
Verse 13. Go to know, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city and continue there a year and buy and sell and get gain. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time and then vanisheth away.
That's how short life is. And people got so big talk. Huh? So bad talk and big talk. And all the Bible says about their life. What is your life? It is even a vapor that appear for a little time and then vanish away. Now you can stand up and say you can do this to that body and do that to the next body and do this to the next body, and then God say, give me my breath. And the breath leaves you. What happened? What are you going to do? Nothing. You done drop dead and start to decay and wait for burial. So that's what he's showing you. He's showing you how fragile life is. Excuse. That is just a vapor. So all the big talk people got is just big talk. Read.
15. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or that.
Exactly. You got to put the Lord first, not put yourself. I can do the you do what? You know if you can live to do it? Well, the man that tell me what he can do, he didn't live to do it. He fallen with a heart attack the Friday morning, so he didn't live to do what he planned to do. So don't plan wickedness against God people. You mightn't live to do it. Read.
16. But know ye rejoice in your boasting. All such rejoicing is evil.
So if any person is doing wrong, and instead of humbling themselves and repenting for that wrong, they rejoicing, they're making a boast, them showing off, they're bragging. The Bible says all such is what? All such rejoicing is evil. Go on.
Finally, verse 17. Therefore to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin.
So if you know what to do good, but you decide to do it not, what did he say to you it is? But the question is, most people know to do good though? No. Most people work according to what they see, and they will operate off of their own heart and their own eyes. And the eyes of their heart evil. So they can't know to do good. No. And it's talking there to the saints. If you know, to him that know to do good, which is the saints, and do it not, to him it is sin. That's what this scripture says. Any questions? Pause it.